Okay, so in this short video, I will discuss some of the differences between NoSQL versus relational databases, the topic for the week 6 discussion. So first, let's start off with some basic definitions. The NoSQL database refers to what we will call a non-relational database. It stores and accesses data using key values. And one of the important things to note is that the data is not stored in rows and columns like we would think of in a traditional database, but instead we note that each item is stored individually by a unique key. In contrast, the relational databases are a collective set of multiple data sets organized by tables, records, and columns. So if we think of something like Microsoft Access, we typically have a lot of tables that have different pieces of information and they're all kind of linked together. The database tables, they communicate and share information for purposes of what we would really just say searchability, organizing, and reporting purposes. And typically relational databases, they'll use SQL, structured query language. As for popularity, before I discuss whether I think relational databases will go extinct, it's important to kind of just take a look at kind of where some of the trends have been going. So this came from one of our links provided to us in the course shell, but I think the key takeaway here when we look at these two graphs, the graph on the left is from 2013 to 14 from March, and then the next one is March 2014 to March 2015. And what we really notice is the MySQL popularity tends to be shrinking, while we'll note that the NoSQLs, they continue to grow in popularity. So it looks like, and from various other sites I've looked at, it looks like this generally tends to be the current trend that is taking place. But will relational databases ever go extinct? For me to answer that question, I would tell you my answer is no, at least not in the near future. So I did a lot of research for this question on various blogs, various websites that were IT informative, and looked at what a lot of experts said. And a lot of the experts, they continue to say, okay, we as a society, we're going to continue to organize data in a relational way, regardless of what the underlying data storage and processing technology is. That's how we think, that's how we've been doing it for a long time, is relationally, and that's probably going to stick around. And even though that underlying data storage and processing technology might change, we've also noticed that there's been an increase in databases that leverage Hadoop in a relational manner. So we've noticed that even though the storage mechanisms, the processing technology changes, things still kind of reference back to that relational structure. Some other technology experts tended to say, okay, one thing to keep in mind is relational databases probably will not go extinct because, point blank, any way you want to look at it, companies will not invest in new technology, a lot of them. A lot of them are happy with the status quo. They like things the way they are and they don't want to change. And so they'll continue to do things the way they've always done them. And I'm sure many of us work for companies that are very much like that. And then an interesting point I also found from another website was that even in the world of big data, companies still use relational engines for aggregating the data and reporting the data. And so really, to answer this question, ultimately I would say of course they're going to go away. Everything changes. No one would have thought Blockbuster's video stores would be extinct by now, but surely they are. But I think for the immediate and near-term future, relational databases, they are here to stay. Whether they become less popular, that's a different question, but I think they're going to be here to stay for the near future. And so that is my response to the Unit 6 discussion. Thanks for listening.